Welcome to my studio. My name is Koen Heldens. I'm a multi-diamond mixing engineer, and today I'm going to show you guys how I'm using SoundID Virtual Monitoring PRO in my room, on my headphones, and on the go. I'm probably most known for work with XXX, Trippie Redd, a few more international artists like Monsta X and Apache 207. Nowadays I'm super immersed into full-fledged mixing. One of the most exciting projects that I've just wrapped up is the Monsta X new album after their reunion, as well as several more new tracks from rising pop star Leah Kate. My current monitoring system exists out of Genelec the Ones, Biodynamic DT1770 Pro headphones that I've tuned with SoundID. I love rooms that are mixed in to sound more natural, more like a living room versus very, dry and treated. So even my mix room here is pretty much live, but it is very much controlled within the sweet spot. So I really love to have, more real life translation. When I create a room or I step into a recording studio, I'm always trying to create a monitoring system that I can rely on. So it's a monitoring system that sounds flat, but it translates to pretty much every single medium, like iPhone, be it in the car, be it on JBL small speakers. So I'm really looking for a real-world translation system in my monitoring system. So usually when I go to different studios, I'll bring my monitoring system with me. That means I'll bring my Genelecs and I also bring my headphones, which means I'll bring SoundID with me to make sure that I can adapt in a new environment within like the next few minutes versus having to spend the whole day figuring out what's wrong with the room, what's good with the room, and how it translates. Mix translation for a mixing engineer like myself is extremely important. I don't want to leave anything to guesswork, figuring out, hey, let me play this record, let's say in the car, and now I hear that there's either too much low end, too little low end, the vocals are too bright. So it's very important that what I hear in the room translates pretty much identically to other listening environments and other listening mediums. The biggest translation challenges that I've faced in my career have usually been going to other rooms, figuring out what the room sounds like, as well as different types of speakers. What does this speaker sound like? What does that speaker sound like? And then also just general listening environments. And the great thing nowadays with companies and products like SoundID is that we can shoot out rooms, we can control our environments much more, and we can create a much flatter frequency response to enable us to really listen in the room and hear what we hear in the room also on other devices and other playback mediums. Early on in my career, I wasn't as aware of monitoring levels, so I just kept cranking up. The more the day went, the more I cranked up the volume with the monitors, not realizing that ear fatigue will play a role. And then at the end of the day, you think like, I've created the perfect mix. And then you play it back the next day and then you literally hear something out of like a circus and you're like, oh my God, I really need to start paying attention on, good critical listening volume levels. Thankfully nowadays I don't do as much work outside of my studio, but if I do, it depends on where I need to go. So for instance, if I need to go out of town, I bring my MacBook Pro with me with my DT1770 Pro headphones from Biodynamic with SoundID, which is tuned to my room. So I can literally be on a plane in a completely different city or a completely different country and have my monitoring environment from my room at home pretty much on my headphones. So it's very important to me. The first time I heard about Virtual Monitoring Pro was last year, right after NAMM, when Sonarworks came to my studio to present the, I would say like beta project, because it wasn't completely finished yet. Initially, I was not really a fan of it because I was thinking about other products where they kind of mimic environments and, I'm more like, I want to have my room and it needs to be translatable to anything else that I listen to. So I was thinking I don't want to have a profile or a mimic of another studio that I then have to figure out what's quote unquote wrong with it. But then when he brought the product and we showed out the room, we tuned the headphones, it was really funny because I was thinking that I had open back headphones. Meanwhile, the DT77 Pros are closed back. So it felt as if I was listening to the speakers, but I was really listening to my headphones that had the entire room profile of my room on there. So it was perfect, and I was completely blown away by the fact that I can now take literally my room on the road anywhere I go with my mobile setup versus having to bring everything that's in my room with me for accurate monitoring. Wow. I'm blown away. It's literally like my entire studio is in these headphones. Can't wait to take this product on the road. Once we had shut out the room at my house and I used Virtual Monitoring Pro in other locations, it felt like 99.9% like on point with what I hear when I'm in my own room at home. Virtual Monitoring Pro I will forever use for the basic fact that it enables me to mix wherever I need to be. I can go and be in the most uncomfortable situations basically where I might have to recall a mix or I have to do a mix while, let's say, I'm on vacation, and I can just have my laptop there and I can really be in my room, if that makes sense. So virtually I'm in my room at home, but I'm on the beach in, let's say, Miami. I would give Virtual Monitoring Pro a 10 out of 10 because it literally gives the seasoning to my monitoring system that I need.